There is a specific sound a nine-figure biomed facility makes when everything is obeying the rules. It is not silence. It is a layered hum. Ultra-low temperature freezers cycling, incubators whispering heat, and the negative pressure corridor breathing inward, so nothing dangerous wanders out to meet the undergraduates. I used to love that sound. This morning it made me angry, because at 7:03 a.m. I was arguing with my dean outside the BSL-3 door, and he was arguing back like the lab was his stage. My name is Dr. Tessa Nguyen. I run the Helix Wing Research Core at Northbridge Medical University. On paper, I am the principal investigator on two federal awards that keep our department alive, the Atlas 72 Training Award and the Horizon Center Grant. In plain English, I bring in the money. I also prevent catastrophe. Dean Grant Welling brought confidence, hair product, and the belief that rules are optional for people with titles. He blocked my path as I reached for my disposable gown. Tessa, we need to talk about your calendar. My calendar is a list of things that keep us out of federal court, I said. Which part is troubling you? He lifted his phone like evidence. Every day, noon to 1, you have a block labeled Public Science Law 610. Yes, I said. That is my lunch hour. You are taking a class during the workday, he said, as if he had discovered sabotage. I eat while I watch the lecture, I said. Then I come back and sign your compliance memos. His smile tightened. It looks distracted. The Viridian renewal visit is in 5 months. That is $140 million. I know the number, I said. I wrote the budget narrative. He stepped closer, lowering his voice into a soft threat. You do not need a class. You need focus. Leave strategy to administration. Your job is to keep the machines running. I laughed once, small and sharp. Machines do not win grants. Data wins grants. Compliance keeps grants. You are missing the point, he said. No, I replied, and my patience finally snapped into something useful. You are missing the point. The renewal rules are changing. Reporting requirements are tightening. Conflict disclosures are expanding. If we ignore that, we lose. I am taking this class to protect the grant you keep bragging about. Grant Welling looked at me like I had insulted his tie. Perception matters. When donors see you in a course, they think you are planning your next job. I am planning to keep this place legal, I said. Unless you prefer headlines. His eyes narrowed. Drop the course, effective immediately. No, I said. He blinked. Administrators hate that word. Excuse me? No, I repeated. My lunch hour is mine, and you do not get to punish professional development because it bruises your ego. The hum behind the door deepened, as if the facility itself agreed. Grant Welling smiled again, and this time it was the smile of a man opening a file drawer. Fine. Then human resources will help you understand priorities. His shoes clicked away like a countdown. 2 hours later, his executive assistant forwarded a request. Calendar exports, badge access logs, and documentation of outside commitments. The subject line read, Time Allocation Review, like my life was a spreadsheet and he was looking for rounding errors. I stared at the email, then at the freezer status dashboard on my second monitor. 86 freezers, 3 decades of samples, hundreds of people paid from my grants. I stood in the corridor and did not feel fear. I felt arithmetic. If he wanted to play perception, I would play documentation. I walked back to my office, opened a new folder on my private drive, named it Receipts, and started saving everything. The next week, Grant Welling hosted the monthly Helix Wing Wins meeting, a title that should have been comedy, but was treated like scripture. Everyone packed into the auditorium, postdocs with dark circles, technicians still smelling faintly of bleach, and graduate students who looked like sleep had been canceled. Welling took the stage in a suit that screamed donor lunch. Amazing momentum, he said, clicking through glossy lab photos. Northbridge is leading the future. Then he introduced the future. A special recognition for Dr. Ryan Pike. Ryan stood, 29, charming, and aggressively average. The room applauded because applause is cheaper than conflict. Welling beamed. Ryan has launched a venture on the side, Novavast Bioconsulting. This entrepreneurial spirit is exactly what we want. I did not clap. My stomach went cold. A for-profit consulting firm, openly celebrated. Meanwhile, I took a lunch hour policy course to protect a renewal, and I was being audited for time misuse. It was not about time, it was about control. Greed looked familiar to Welling. Knowledge looked like rebellion. After the meeting, I closed my office door and started downloading my own history. Every performance review, exemplary. Every email where I had pulled our animal colony back from a compliance cliff. Every note where I had warned Welling that staffing cuts would create audit exposure. I saved them into receipts with calm precision. At 2:18 p.m., my department administrator, Joyce, slipped into my office and shut the door. "He is asking for your full calendar for 6 months," she whispered. "He wants badge logs, too." "I know," I said. Joyce swallowed. "He asked legal if they can move Dr. Colin Barrett onto the Horizon Center renewal." Barrett, Welling favorite, a man who had not run a wet lab in years. "He cannot even access the BSL-3, I said. "They are trying to fast-track it," Joyce replied. "He wants you out before the Viridian renewal visit." That was the real goal. Welling did not want me learning policy. He wanted a puppet PI who would sign whatever he put in front of them. "Send him the raw logs," I said. Joyce blinked. "Are you sure?" "Absolutely," I said. "Give him the data, not the story." I knew he would not read it. He would find my noon block and declare victory, ignoring the emails I sent at midnight and the weekend animal welfare inspections I personally covered. Then I walked the lab. My students pipetted with quiet focus, trusting the world not to collapse. My lab manager, Priya Shah, looked up from an inventory sheet. "Priya," I said, "back up everything tonight. All raw data, all analysis, every compliance document that has my signature." She frowned. "Storm coming?" "Yes," I said. "Administrative weather." That evening, Priya messaged. Welling toured the animal facility with Barrett. Barrett asked if we can consolidate the immunocompromised mice into the general room to simplify. I told him no. He said I should focus on cage cleaning. I stared until my jaw hurt. That move would kill the line and contaminate the room. It was ignorance wearing a tie. I typed back, "Do not do it. Document the instruction. No signatures." Priya replied, "Understood." At 9:11 p.m., an HR calendar invite hit my inbox. Review of duties. Attendees: Grant Welling, HR Director Mallory King, and me. Agenda: time allocation concerns. I smiled at the screen like it was a microscope slide with a clear result. If he wanted to measure my hours, I would show him my months. I opened the compliance drive, initiated an encrypted export of every protocol that required my signature, and set the progress bar running while the freezers hummed behind the wall, steady and indifferent. Not yet, I thought. But soon. The HR conference room smelled like lemon sanitizer and quiet threats. It had a long table, a tissue box nobody ever used, and a framed poster that said, "Our people matter," which felt less like comfort and more like sarcasm. Grant Welling sat at the head of the table, solemn in the way people get when they want credit for being cruel politely. Mallory King from Human Resources sat beside him with the expression of a person who had memorized the script and left her soul in the parking lot. "Dr. Nguyen," Mallory began, sliding paper across the table. "Performance improvement plan effective immediately." I stayed standing and placed my own folder on the table, printed policies, timestamps, and enough receipts to make a lawyer purr. Mallory continued. "Concerns include time management and unauthorized educational pursuits during business hours. The plan requires you to cease coursework and submit a daily hour-by-hour log for 60 days. You are placing the named principal investigator on a plan," I said, "because she watches a policy lecture while eating lunch." Welling leaned forward. "It is insubordination. I told you to drop it. You challenged my authority. My lunch hour is not your kingdom, I said. Also, the class protects the renewal you keep boasting about. Mallory glanced at Welling, then back to her paper. The dean feels your focus is fractured. My focus has kept this program compliant for 12 years, I said. If you want to audit someone, start with the dean praising side businesses while threatening my lunch. Welling jaw tightened. Do not change the subject. The university owns the grants. You are replaceable. The award is to the university, Mallory added quickly, grateful for a sentence she understood. Contingent on the competence of the named principal investigator, I said. That is me. Welling smiled like he had found a leverage point. Then sign the plan, drop the class, or we discuss separation. You have 24 hours, Mallory said. I tapped my folder. I will review it. Welling eyes hardened. Make the right choice, Tessa. Do not throw away a career over a hobby. I left without raising my voice. Quiet people do not lack fire. We just aim it. That night, Priya messaged me. Barrett told the team to keep running experiments even if protocols go inactive. He said we can backdate paperwork later. Backdating federal oversight is not a shortcut. It is fraud. I replied, document that. Do not sign anything. No animal work, no human subjects work, no exceptions. The next morning, my badge failed at the garage gate. Red light. Denied. I parked in visitor and walked in like a stranger. Security escorted me to the dean's suite. A cardboard box sat on the table like a punchline. You did not sign the plan, Welling said, almost cheerful. No, I replied. Then your employment is terminated for insubordination and failure to adhere to time allocation policy, Mallory recited. 50 minutes to collect personal effects, no computer access, no speaking to staff. And the Horizon Center renewal? I asked. Handled, Welling said. Dr. Colin Barrett will serve as interim principal investigator. He is already reviewing files. Barrett does not have BSL-3 clearance, I said. He will, Welling snapped. Stop worrying about the university. Worry about your unemployment. They walked me to my office. I packed my degree, a photo, and a cactus. In the lab, my students froze. Priya stood with wet eyes. I gave her one sharp nod. Keep protocols clean and keep records. Then I was on the curb with a box in my arms and a program behind me that still hummed as if arrogance had not just pulled a pin. I did not go home. I drove to a small coffee shop 2 towns away, ordered black tea, opened my personal laptop, and logged into the federal awards portal. Welling had fired an employee. He had not yet realized he had removed the keystone. On the Aegis Commons portal, everything important looked insultingly simple. A few tabs, a few checkboxes that carried the weight of careers. The Horizon Center Award was issued by the National Health Research Authority, the NHRA, a federal agency that loved 2 things: meticulous documentation and watching arrogant institutions learn humility. I clicked the award number. I opened Key Personnel. My name sat there like a load-bearing column. Then I clicked Change in Status. Reason: termination of employment. Effective date: today. Successor principal investigator: none. The form asked me to certify that I was no longer responsible for scientific integrity, fiscal oversight, or regulatory compliance for the award. I checked the box. It was not revenge. It was accuracy. Welling had fired me. I could not legally remain responsible for a program I could not enter. I hit submit. A green bar flashed. Update successful. In the eyes of the federal government, Helix Wing had just become a ship without a captain. That did not mean the building exploded. It meant something worse for administrators. Everything stopped being allowed. I moved to the Ethics Oversight Registry and withdrew as the responsible official on every active protocol linked to my grants. I filed the same fact in the animal welfare system. Databases did not argue. Databases love truth. It is humans who hate it. 3 days later, the panic arrived. A compliance coordinator left a voicemail. Protocols flagged inactive, animal work paused, no authorized official. Grants accounting emailed, payroll drawdown rejected, key personnel void, postdocs unpaid. Welling could call it a glitch all day. The systems called it what it was: leadership failure. On day 5, Northbridge General Counsel sent a message titled, Urgent, Federal Records. They accused me of altering award records and demanded I restore access and assist transition. Altered. Like calling gravity a scheduling conflict. I forwarded it to my attorney, Camille Owens, a shark with a soft voice and sharp teeth. Camille called 10 minutes later. They fired you, and now they want you to carry liability for their program. They also want me to pretend the agency portal is a suggestion, I said. Do not reply, she said. If they want your help, they can contract for it. If they want to threaten you for obeying federal rules, we will enjoy that in writing. Meanwhile, Priya kept me updated through encrypted messages. Barrett cannot enter BSL-3. Vendors froze our accounts. Leadership is pressuring trainees to keep experiments running quietly. I asked for one thing: send every instruction in writing, no phone calls, no hallway whispers. 2 weeks after my termination, I interviewed at Lakeshore Institute of Medicine. Their research dean, Dr. Irene Park, asked why I left. Professional differences regarding compliance, I said. She raised an eyebrow. I heard you were fired over a lunch course. That was the stated reason, I replied. She shook her head. We pay for courses here, especially ones that protect renewals. We need a chair who can keep programs funded and legal. I left with an offer and a startup package that made Northbridge look like a budget motel. Back at Northbridge, the Viridian renewal visit approached like a storm you could see from miles away. The NHRA review team would arrive Monday at 9. The ethics audit was scheduled for 11. That audit was the kill zone. On Sunday night, Priya sent one last message. Lead reviewer is Dr. Anders Holt, former military surgeon. He hates slide decks. He loves paperwork. I stared at the name and felt the calm certainty of inevitability. Welling had tried to replace competence with charm. Holt did not grade charm. He graded compliance, and the ledger was about to be read out loud. The morning of the Viridian renewal visit, I woke up early out of habit. My body still ran on lab time, the kind of time where a freezer alarm at 3 a.m. is normal and a dean apology is myth. I was not on campus. I was in my kitchen, drinking coffee and watching my phone like it was a seismograph. Priya texted updates in short bursts. They arrived. Holt skipped the presentation. He asked why your name is still on Aegis Commons. Welling said transition, called it a formality. He has your change in status printed. Barrett tried to answer. Holt said he is not authorized. Holt asked about animal welfare. He has the humidity incident report. Welling blamed infrastructure. Holt asked for a signed corrective plan. There is none. I set my phone down and let the coffee cool. Then Priya sent 2 words. Denied. Over. Seconds later. Welling is yelling. Provost looks gray. I could picture it perfectly. The conference room set with pastries that cost more than a graduate student's groceries. Welling in his best suit, smiling like charm is armor. Dr. Anders Holt across from him, posture like a judge, eyes like a scanner. Holt did not deny renewal because he disliked them. He denied it because the rules were clear. No approved principal investigator. No valid oversight chain. Missing corrective action. Pressure on trainees to keep experiments running quietly. If a facility cannot follow rules when money is on the line, it will not follow them when nobody is watching. An hour later, my phone rang. Unknown number. I answered. Tessa Nguyen, a calm voice said. Dr. Anders Holt, NHRA. I guessed, I said. He exhaled once, controlled. I do not usually call applicants. Your science was strong. Your trainees spoke highly of you. The denial is not about your work. It is about leadership, I said. Yes, he replied. They removed the person keeping the program compliant and tried to replace compliance with titles. Silence can be a verdict. I let it sit. Holt continued. If you submit your next renewal through a different institution, our agency will review it. We invest in competence. Thank you, I said, and meant it. When the call ended, I felt something I did not expect. Grief. Not for Welling, not for the grant number. For the animals euthanized, the experiments paused, the papers delayed, the future cures that would now belong to someone else, because one man wanted control more than progress. 2 days later, the fallout hit the news. Northbridge lost major federal award amid compliance failures. Welling was placed on administrative leave pending investigation. Barrett quietly stepped away from anything with the word oversight in it. Ryan Pike's side venture was suddenly less celebrated and more questioned. Priya called me, voice shaking. They are telling staff to sign severance. Do not sign, I said. Pack essentials. I have staff lines and fellowship bridges at Lakeshore. If you want to come, you come. She cried, then laughed, then did both. A month later, I walked into my new lab at Lakeshore Institute of Medicine. It smelled like ethanol and fresh paint and possibility. The freezers were new, the vents were calibrated. The compliance officer greeted me like a collaborator instead of a suspect. At noon, my calendar pinged. Public Science Law 610, final lecture. I ate my lunch. I watched the lecture. I took the exam. I earned an A. My new dean saw the block and sent one message. Proud of you. Put it in the next grant narrative. That is what respect sounds like. Somewhere, Grant Welling probably told himself he lost money because agencies are too strict. That story lets him sleep. I prefer the true one. He lost everything because he mistook quiet for weak and rules for optional. And when he fired the person holding the program together, the program did exactly what it was designed to do. It protected itself, without him.